George Rose, double header, no limit on Fox this Friday night. Thoughts on this card?
Great card, great card. Big one for us to finish the year, and I think off the year that we've had, it's a perfect finish to the year, like Sammy's had a great year, Liam's had a great year. We've got some really good matchups on the undercard, and I think it's a nice little Christmas present for everyone who's supported Australian boxing for the year.
Co-main event, Liam Wilson, Jackson England. That's a cracking fight.
Massive fight, and I think the performance from Jackson England, I know there was controversy around whether Cheeky May got the win or not in that fight, but Jackson England really pushed the pressure, and he showed that he's got what it takes to mix it with some of the top guys around there. He's a guy that could really upset Liam Wilson's style, and he's got everything to gain, nothing to lose. So. All the cards are stacked in his favour in that sense, but it's an opportunity for Liam to really cement himself as the top guy in Australia and the guy ready to go into world title opportunities.
And a lot on the line there for Sam Goodman as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Another risky fight. He is in the mandatory position right now, but I feel like the activity against tough opponents, different opponents, is going to prepare him for what he needs going into next year. Because the guys at the top of the tree in his division, they're really tough fights. So he's got to be prepared for absolutely everything leading into that.
You're proud of sort of how Sam's come out of his shell and he's sort of embracing being the headline act?
Yeah, I think he has, and I think this year has been a really good growth opportunity for him. He had the Batman and Robin act happening with Timmy Zhou all year, and to be on those cards and to be in front of the crowds that Tim draws and the opponents that he's actually beat this year, to be to continue to be undefeated. Those guys that he knocked off this year, you've got to give him a lot of credit for what he's done this year, and he continues to do it. He's got another undefeated opponent, and it's a great finish to the year for him. 4 fights in 4 world-class fights in a calendar year, and preparing himself for a great 2024 with a win on Friday night.
Yeah, we saw the NRL had a little thing in Vegas the other day. Any developments on the potential fight over there?
Yeah, we're getting closer. We are getting close. We're not locked in just yet. But as soon as we are, I'm looking forward to a big announcement and being able to lock that in for next year, because off the back of the year that we've had, we've got to go to Vegas. We've got to keep the ball rolling into 2024, and I think the performances again from all our Australian fighters, warrants the opportunity to really push our world domination case.
In Tim Zhu's division, the IBF belt has become vacant. I asked Glenn this, but would you prefer for Tim to unify, or do you want those big fights straight away? What's your preference?
Look, I think both, and I think speaking to Tim and the team, whatever opportunity turns up, he wants big fights, he wants titles, he wants belts. So whatever we can do in either of those regards, we'll make happen. It'd be great to see him in big fights, given the growth that he's had this year. He's headlined massive shows here in Australia that were broadcast to the USA, and he's really made a splash in the US by having them fights broadcast across there in prime time. And the fact that he's being mentioned in the same conversations as other top guys in global boxing, it's exciting for what could happen in 2024. If he gets one of those big fights in 2024, it completely changes the game. But if that's not happening, then we'll look to chase belts. We'll look for the next best opportunities that exist.
Does that PBC Amazon deal sort of make things more complicated? How have you navigated that situation?
Yeah, look, it's the unknown, I think, leading into next year. I think it'll be a very different to what has been, Showtime Boxing and PBC for what feels like an eternity. That was boxing. Between them and Top Rank and ESPN, that's that global boxing that you follow and that that we've known and followed for so long. So the Amazon partnership, very different. I know Amazon's massive in the US, but you know, I don't know how that's going to look exactly, but we'll continue to work with PBC and with Al Heyman, and they've got so many really good fighters in and around Tim's weight in particular. And again, with you know, Liam and Sam, there's opportunities there as well. So we'll continue to work with them and look for what's best for us and for our fighters in 2024.
Now, last No Limit on Fox show for the year for you guys. How do you sort of look back on this year?
Look, I thought this year with our No Limit on Fox shows, it was a great. We tested a lot of things. We tried a lot of things out, and I think it came off. It worked. I think going into next year, I'm looking forward to more of those. I'm looking forward to more big pay-per-view shows as well. I think again, the performances of our fighters this year have really put themselves into a position to take that pay-per-view platform by storm, and we've seen the growth of Nikita Tszyu into a pay-per-view guy, a pay-per-view star, and his star is only going to continue to grow, and there's some really cool fights on the horizon for him, so really excited about that. And again, Liam and Sam, they're both in world title contention, and they've fought their way to that. So this year has been a really cool one. We were talking before about the Tony Harrison fight, and that felt like an eternity ago. It felt like it was 2 years ago, but that all happened this year. So it's been a big year for Australian boxing, and we're really proud to be pushing the envelope and bringing everybody along for the journey too, because I know that we've brought so many new fans into the sport that are continuing to follow, and you know, with people like yourself and everybody else that's involved in the Australian boxing scene, it's only going to continue to grow. And I think where we're at right now is a really good place. And this year's a year that we should celebrate. So on the back of Friday night, we've all got to celebrate with a good night. And Ash as well, you've been fantastic. You get my good angles, so I appreciate that.
Thanks so much, George.
Thank you.